Today, we celebrate the a whole decade of knowledge giving, 10 years of knowledge transferred from an annual event to a platform in the core business of development, to strategic partnership with the UNDP, a partnership which culminated into launching one of the most important measures, KPIs, is just the Global Knowledge Index. From here, we start because knowledge is just like for development. It's just like related to infrastructure for economy and the national income of the because the what's in 2030 now, so we become about the preparedness, about our knowledge preparedness, which are more urgent than before. From here we start where we are on our the global map now, and how can we transfer knowledge to a sustainable corporate productivity, as we can produce His Excellency Mr. Jamal bin Hawirab, the CEO of Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Knowledge Foundation, and Dr. Hani Turkey, the the Director Program of Knowledge Project at the UNDP. I'll start now with you, Your Excellency Jamal. You celebrate this year by 10-year pass of launching the Knowledge Summit. This journey has witnessed a lot of advancement during the last decade, away from figures. Dr. Jamal, what is the profound impact that the Knowledge Summit was keen to instill in the Arab nations? And I would like to also to ask Dr. Jamal Rawi to tell us about 10 years of this Knowledge Summit and this such a great and exceptional journey. Peace of God be upon you. First of all, I would like to thank you for the introduction, and I would like also to thank the attendees for their presence despite the fog outside. But knowledge is one of the most important thing than anything else. When we started our Knowledge Summit, the first one, I don't hide the secret from you. In the Arab nation as a whole, nobody was talking about knowledge, and knowledge was not as a priority of our strategy. And when we talk about knowledge, they tell me it's culture. I tell them that culture is something while knowledge is something else. And I heard, and I have lots of evidences about people whom we call the persons of expertise and experience. When they talk about, they mix about between culture and knowledge, because the new concept that emerging recently, which is the culture of knowledge. So they think that the culture of knowledge is the same is the culture of poetry, literature, and cinema and theater. And I was suffering and struggling because of this one. When I went to the West, uh, and when I went to the advanced countries, they know about the meaning of culture, and they know about the culture of knowledge. So I was struggling and suffering, and I was actually feeling sad that the Arab nation, without the existence of real or genuine knowledge, without a knowledge economy, or in the absence of a global index for knowledge. Only we had a report, a new knowledge report, the first and the second reports with the UNDP, and such reports, with my appreciation, were not enough to shape the general public awareness, or Arab awareness. I'm not talking about the feelings or or I'm not talking sadly, I'm not feeling sad, I'm not exaggerating my ideas. The UK has come across one of the worst economic crises during the COVID-19 pandemic. And and Ron might agree with me. He's here. He's an equality expert here. He had a session and workshop yesterday. The UK government talked to all people of experience and knowledge in the UK, and they asked them to present whatever they have of their knowledge. The UK government is looking for the knowledge economy, including data, analysis, innovations, and etc. And the UK government could, through or by using and utilizing knowledge, could get out of its crisis. And it could attract huge investments to investment in AI and innovations, and as well as what's called the economic knowledge and others. Are the Arab countries, if they come across such a great crisis, like a financial crisis, are they capable to get out their knowledge and get out such treasures to benefit from them and to enhance their level and to restore these countries to the path they have been in the before? It's such an essential issue. When we started our Knowledge Summit over the past years, we did not used to talk about knowledge. It was something hard to imagine. During these years, thanks to the efforts of the knowledge, the global knowledge, and thanks to the efforts of our Dr. Hani and Dr. Khalid Abdi Shafi, God rest his soul in peace, and also Abdullah al-Barbari, who was supposed to be today, but unfortunately he's not feeling well, but I think he will catch up with us late today. I'm talking about such a great and important topic. If any Arab country has come across an economic crisis, what a potential do they have to get out and make benefit from? And the second issue is to instill the concept of knowledge is not limited to a book to be published, or is not limited to an indicator to launch. If such data are not translated or transferred, more than 1,000 sessions over the past 10 years, if they have not been transferred to real life in the Arab nation, so the Arab nation will be just like in the wind. Once they come across any unexpected economic crisis, it's something like a scream to the Arab world, because such sessions and such indicators also should be reflected into or transferred or translated into programs and future programs. We can see also the indicators. Dr. Hani, 10 years of the Knowledge Summit, 8 years or 9 years of the Knowledge Index. This book, I don't have the book now. I just was searching it digitally. It's full. It's full of information and results and outcomes, rates, and also indicators. Each country now can know exactly where they are right now in different sectors. This is the baby who was born. Is 9 years old now. How was this journey? And the second part of the question, how can we read? How can countries read such indicators? Good morning in the morning, Mrs. Nofa, for the introduction. I thank you for the introduction. The Global Knowledge Index has started with an idea of of the Arab Knowledge Index, which we started in 2015 and 2016, because all the international indices related with, which is started also in 2012 for the World Bank. So we did not have indices for the knowledge indices. We started with the Arab nation, with the Arab Knowledge Index, and in 2017 we moved to the Global Knowledge Index. It passed three phases. The first one is just building the indicator, which is considered a journey of learning for the countries and for experts. And when we started in 2017, when we started our first index, we did a survey for more than 500 international variables, and we started establishing the methodological and the. After 2021, in the wake of COVID-19, we found a great gap in the data, especially in the big data. So we conducted the first review in 2021. Since 2021, the index started to take its position as a global index, and we started contacting the global research. The shared international organization. They started to give us remarks and observations, and we took such observations into consideration, and we started increasing or enhancing the index. Now even the index for the European Union as one of the indices approved by them. Into 2024 we found that a lot of indices and the variables started to change. First one and first two, we started new emerging, the industrial revolution and its consequences of great changes, the AI, and a lot of and its impact on data. So since 2024, we started producing an update for the data. We started our review for 2025. This review resulted in that we reduced the variables to 115 variables, which is a great volume, because the methodology of the index is not only to put countries in order, but how to give a picture so that each country can know its weaknesses and strengths, and also to determine about the successful experiences for each country. We also merged between two sectors, the technical and the technical education and the regular one, because the technical education has a gap. Whether we have a gap now, and we decided whether to cancel the technical education or to merge it with the regular education. It was one of the most important difficult challenges to merge between two sectors. Also, the third topic which we had started about the empowering environments, where we found that the experts found that it's not incubating for the sectors, but they are also affecting and being affected also by the environmental sector and the society as well as the governors. We merged some new variables related to the mental health and the digital transformation, the ISO, the sustainability. All such variables were taken into consideration. All such efforts were behind an integrated team comprising more than 50 experts, out of whom 10 international experts did the grade, and we really thank them for their great efforts in our project. And the advisory board experts, also like 50 experts reviewing this index. It's such a great project. In the second part of my question, how can we read, so that we can complete the part of the question, how can we read the index and the outcomes or the results? First of all, countries should read them not only to criticize their sequence or their ranking, whether they are in top position or the second one. The purpose is just to determine the gaps and also to identify points of weakness and sickness, and also to learn from successful experience. This is what needs to be taken into consideration. It's an index to give you a roadmap or a direction to give you. There is not a 100% accurate indicator. So these also should be benchmarked by the countries, and countries also should be linking the indicators, the outcomes with their current situation. The third one, when countries start reading the index, they should take into consideration about the innovation, development, and research sector. The outcomes should be also because their average is less than any other average all over the world, and it's such a great issue as just innovation, development, and research in 2012 and 2013, where we were not able to come across or to challenge anyone after the COVID-19 pandemic. They start also reconsidering. And the most important thing for just when reading our data for the Arab nations, and I'm focusing on the Arab nations now, that they have to see not their ranking or not points of weakness or strength, but to learn from successful experience from the similar Arab countries, and as well as the similar foreign experience in terms of geographical, cultural characteristics, so that they can come up with the results, because it's too hard to generalize outcomes for everybody. For the UAE, for the United Arab Emirates, today is from of the same region, the same gender, the same language. We can, or any country can move, just like follow what the United Arab Emirates and how they reach it. The 26th position right now, as Dr. Hani said, the top 30 places, differences are quite, or the gaps are quite narrow. I'm talking I'm an Arab person from Tunisia, from Egypt, from Morocco, from any Arab country. We have the UAE to be a benchmark, and the United Arab Emirates open its doors for everybody to learn from it. If the UAE has reached this stage or this level at the top of all indicators, so any other Arab countries can also take UAE as a role model. The indicators, the index, and the data and information are available, and we open the door for any country seeking any information for just the Mohammed bin Rashid Knowledge Foundation, and the UNDP will never hide any information. So it's a great opportunity for all Arab nations or states to make the United Arab Emirates as a role model. And as I heard His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, God bless him, he keeps saying, and I agree with him, I hope that the whole Arab nation to be at the top level, and he the one who he's calling for just like to revive civilization, to that Arabs reviving civilization is a call from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. It started in 2015 and is still continuing till date in all fields, even space with the poor, with the Al Hope. He involved all the Arab states to give a name for the hope, for the space. The person who was in charge of the space, I asked him about, is it real? Is it actually? Are you going to? He said? What do you mean? Is it real that you're going to Mars? Yes, he said yes. Why not? And with UAE hands, and years went by, and we see the time reads. I read an article from Times on who will win the race to reach to the planet Mars before the Hope. According to the inputs available, the Mars will be reached by 3 countries, 2 great countries, and 1 very small country. And this article I'm still having this one: China and the United States and the UAE. How come? And I asked the same person, is it real? Are you going to the article? So determination and hope can reach people to the highest level. And each Arab country can reach Mars, not only the United Arab Emirates. You just need determination, will, and hope. And the hope after the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. They were skeptical in reaching the
لا لا من هذه الدول التي فيها هذه الصحيفة.
they were skeptical about reaching the Hope probe to the planet Mars. Doctor, about your partnership with the UNDP, which is the cornerstone in the knowledge project. How could this partnership contribute over 1 decade to read about the knowledge about it? So over the past years of partnership, we helped the UNDP as well as the UNDP helped us as well. And we came across times, challenging times, and good times as well. Thick and okay. The knowledge index was just a knowledge report. So I told them, okay, we moved to the knowledge, the Arab knowledge index. I wanted to prepare them, but I did not tell them about my intention. So in the first year, we launched the Arab Knowledge Index, and in the second year, we also launched the second Arab Knowledge Index. So I told the UNDP and to Dr. Hen and my colleagues, let's move to the Global Knowledge Index. They said no, and they were quite scared. And I could read the fear in their faces. I know why. They were scared of the idea because of just like involving in the international, the global categorization or classification. You don't know to which direction you will be going. And a lot of barriers at that time or to hinder us made them to think about it, and I really appreciate their way of thinking at that time. I kept pressing on them till they accepted, and now the knowledge index became an indispensable part of the UNDP and Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum. So please give a round of applause to Dr. Hani, because he deserves a lot because of his relentless efforts. He did a great job over the past years. And now I think he's staring, he just looks at me, he's staring at me with a stern face. The second one, dealing with international organizations especially. I just give you a piece of advice to the Arab countries in particular. It's not easy to bring the Secretary General, to bring just like, and somebody else will take over, priorities may differ, and also issues will tarry. So the person in charge who is to deal with the international organization to be fully aware and to at the highest level of diplomacy, because you are dealing with you think you are dealing with person, but in the meantime you have to be quite aware of all everything behind the scenes at these international organizations, which might be also invisible to a lot of people dealing with these systems. And I was keen, since I started dealing with them, to be at a high level of credibility. And they really did a great job. They worked hard. They were diligent. They were quite diligent. And I'm talking about the UNDP, such a great, reliable, and credible organization working hard for the benefit of humanity, for the welfare of humanity, not only for the Arab nation, but for the whole world in general. I wish if Dr. Dardari was here this morning, and God bless his soul, Dr. Khalid Abdishafi was a man of great credibility. As whenever I memorize, recall his memories, he was a great person of situations. He was quite supportive to me. He was quite helpful. God bless his soul. And I just knew about his death, and he passed away. God bless his soul, Dr. Hani. Okay, now we can touch the success of this 10-year partnership. Otherwise, Dr. Hani wasn't here today. Dr. Hani, since the beginning of this session, the most important word that was frequently repeated said by you and by Dr. Abdullah. It's data. I think data now is the most important or biggest, one of the biggest challenges. You can tell over the previous sessions, we did not reach data from country. So we say that we were communicating with some countries to bring us data, but other times they are not frequent or repeated or giving us data all the time. So countries might give you data or indicators. So because there might be misconception or just how can you deal with this type of misleading information, despite the fact that it's one of the most important principles of the index? Of course, any index in all over the world is based on credibility of data and how accurate and how reliable these data are. So if we have an index having 115 variables, so the accuracy should be 100%. So if there is 1% wrong, so the credibility of the whole index will be affected. So the team was working on the effectiveness. We used to bring them 3 or 4 times, and we review them 3 or 4 times to check or to seek the accuracy, and we also follow up with the accuracy and the flow of the information over the past years, because any misleading information in the trend or the information will make us find if there is a human error or a code error, any one of the errors that nobody can notice among 32 data points. So the data collection was here. It was our foundation of the principle. Among the international data, which is more than 40 international databases, after we compiled the data and studied the data, we started determining where this error is found. The error can be just like an entry error, or the countries sent these information in a wrong way, and with not taking into consideration, we're not know. So we start communicating with the countries about the accuracy of the information or the data. But this happens before calculating the index. After the calculation of the index, we cannot make anything else, because if we do anything after the calculation is put, it's just some type of manipulation. So it's a validation of the validation and the verification of the data. So the big challenge that we are coming across after we collect the data and we come across some problem, we found that some international sources delete some elements from. However, the element or the information also, any data just downloaded on the internet. So once the data is eliminated, so the link as well is eliminated. So an organization in a country, in the UNESCO, asking us to delete all the information, and we have also an update. So the index and the information still remains in all global index. So that's why all the indices should be discussed and updated in order to determine why all the information, because the global nations do not know, are surprised that some information might be deleted, and it might also affect their classification or the ranking on the global. And we might find out that it's an official organization who asked to delete the information. And did it happen in an Arab nation? It was in Riyadh, and also in a country where we tried to look for what happened, but unfortunately we could not actually know. We did not know who. We wanted to know who asked for the deletion, but unfortunately we didn't know it. So it just like it results in a delay of calculation of the index, and that's why the data. The UNESCO just updates its data in the mid of September. So we have to wait till the middle of September so that we can update the data of the index. So till the 19th of November, we have to wait. All the data and all the procedures in order to ensure the accuracy. All such things are just considered presses on the index team. One more thing: some countries issue data or send the data to organizational, and they do not review their data after they have been published on the organization. There are some indices published by the international organizations which and they are wrong in they have, like for bowling, for example. We know a country where there is a bowling percentage is 5 or 6%. We surprised that the bowling rate is about 70%, which is quite impossible. And this country does not review all its entities to delete this misconception or to correct this wrong information. What I found out in the index is that there are criteria like obesity, the obesity or the bullying in the index might affect the final outcome of the knowledge index. I did not imagine that it can be a variable. Any variable can affect, especially the obesity, bullying, and all such indices will affect the mental health of the student and the education indication, because it's an indicator now. So if the variable in its origin is 2 or 3%, but it was the input was like 60% or 30%, it will decrease the ranking of the country in the pre-university education. There are also lots of things which we are surprised with. And let me some. One of the most important things we find, unfortunately, in the Arab nation, it's a problem. If you see the Arab nations left in the back in the Arab index, it's one of the important reasons, and it's something really is sadly to say it. And we've been working with Arab nations just to know about who updates the data. Sometimes we can find, and other times we struggle to find it. So three hub now. We know that there is a big problem in terms of data for some Arab nations. Countries might give you some accurate or inaccurate information or data from these hub now. How can we raise the awareness of the Arab nations about the importance of such data? Any recommendation or recommendations from your organization to those countries, especially from you, Dr. Hani? First of all, this Knowledge Summit is the most important knowledge summit all over the world. There is no other summit, a non-profit summit, specialists in knowledge, except for our Knowledge Summit here. So all Arab nations were supposed to be present, participating in this Knowledge Summit. It's a free of charge summit, so that they know about the knowledge index, as well as knowing about the most recent topics people talking about in terms of knowledge. Also, the only knowledge index measuring the world in 195 countries is the global knowledge index. It's the gift from Arab. It's not a gift from the UAE. It's a gift from the Arab to the whole world, not only from the United Arab Emirates. So who can benefit from it at the first hand are the Arab nations, of course. The Arab nations should benefit from this index. We lost a lot of ministries were present here, and also Arab organizations, and we visited them. We paid them a visit ourselves. So we just like me and Dr. Hani go to Egypt just to be the visit to the minister to tell them about the updated or the most recent developments and the figures. So not only Egypt, but to all Arab nations, to reach the highest levels we expect and we aspire to. It's hard to say that to find an Arab nation, an Arab country, at the bottom of So why is Singapore? Singapore, what is Singapore? Singapore is number 2 in the knowledge in the index. Arab countries, we have our expert scientists, we have our historic background. They can move forward in its global index. Only we need them to reach to this level to make knowledge as an approach, a methodology. If they make it as an approach, they will reach the level. But if they stay stand still, but if there's a minister goes and when somebody else taking over, and if there is another minister leaves and somebody else takes over, so the indices also, the inputs also vary from one minister to another, and there is some person who do not sending some wrong information, and they might destroy the whole index of the country in a wrong way. Dr. Hani, your scientific recommendations that might come up to the decision makers in those countries. I want to give you 2 examples. Mr. Jamal, you did not make me pay for this. I will give you Egypt and Jordan. In Egypt, as Mr. Jamal said, we visited them and we gave them data. And his Sharif Keshke, the assistant minister of scientific research, we sat with the minister. They asked for the gap. They asked for the data. They could treat the gaps in one sector, which is the high education. So they moved from 108 to the 79 position now, because for 1 year they have been working on the gaps on the higher education. I'm not talking whether it's a good place, but at least they have achieved a lot in 1 year. Just to treat one problem for data, they already could treat gaps. Also in Jordan, they also moved from the 4 places ahead. So the general index, because we went to Jordan and we held workshops in Jordan as well. So once the culture of data and respect of data, the Arab nations do not respect data, and non-issuance or not publishing the data and not updating them in the past. We did not lead to any problem. But now countries who are not issuing data will be penalized according to the global index. But so for the global index now, I can see like missing data. If they are missing data, will put countries in some high categories, which is illogical. So we have innovated something now. We can just do some innovation for the data available. But the countries who do not issue the data will be penalized. So this led to the many countries know now they know about their gaps, and they know how to deal with them. So Arab countries, they have to issue data constantly to follow up with international organization. Also, after issuing the data, they have to be verified and checked on the international platforms. And okay, hopefully we will see the knowledge project.
Before that, we want to ask you about the UAE, because it's an Arab country, and almost every year it's at the top 30 countries in this index. So of course there's a successful strategy. If you can summarize, how did the UAE, this country, to become an advanced nation in the knowledge index? Of course, there's a lot of efforts by the UAE, starting from the leadership and the sheikhs, may God protect them, His Highness the President and His Highness his Vice President, and the government as a whole, and then cascading down to the government sector and the private sectors. All these sectors work in tandem to elevate the position of the United Arab Emirates. So if the knowledge levels are elevated, the educational environments, the education, the health, economy, etc. So of course the index is going to be raised to its highest level. For example, Dubai. touching on another topic. Dubai is a desert city, right? Correct. Even if we have some fog today, it's in the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, correct? Yesterday, we launched the Luxury Cities Index, the most luxurious 20 cities in the world. And the highest the top was Dubai. The 20th was London, the old city. That legacy city that we all like to travel to during our summer holidays became in the 20th place. This is all due to the efforts of who? A governor that does not know the word impossible, a crown prince, and parliament, or rather government officials that are always seeking the best in everything. If you check Abu Dhabi and the UAE as a whole, even the last meetings in Abu Dhabi and the majalis between the government sectors or departments and the ministries, and they all have their projects. At the end of the year, by the end of the year, when the indexes are released, the UAE is at the top of more than 400 indexes or indices globally, and this is not impossible for any other Arab country to follow suit. We have Qatar now that is at the top of many indexes, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that is also competing. So who wants will not yield in front of high tasks. But if you sit down and you play the victim, of course that does not work. You have to work hard in order for the United Arab Emirates. The United Arab Emirates are rather in order for you to reach. The UAE is a 50 years old country only. However, it became a role model, an exemplary model for advanced nations, and I apologize here. This index has been just launched a few days ago. It became London is on the 20th position, while Dubai is in the lead. Of course, these indexes are very accurate and very reliable. Dr. Hani, you have the Academy of the Future Skills Academy, which is a direct response to the needs for that. So how can you connect the global index to that? And tell us any skills gap that you've noticed through the index. Our academy is the latest initiative that we have launched, which I consider truly one of the most important initiatives around, because they touch and impact the life of every Arab national, their lives and their families' lives. When we wanted to launch the report in 2018, a report about forecasting the future of knowledge in all over the world, and together with the company, we launched a tool to measure the gap of skills, the skills gap for countries from all over the world. And we found that the skills in 2018, we found that gap, and we were able to measure where do they lie exactly. And by the way, I would like to go back to 2010. Since 2010, in the second report of the Knowledge Project, we tested the skills, student skills in the Arab world in 4 countries, and we found a massive gap in knowledge skills for Arab students. And as well as in 2014, we launched the second test for the university students, and we are always aware that there is a skills gap. And the human element, the human capital, is always at the core of the knowledge economy. So once we've found the results and we decided where the gaps lie, we launched the Global Knowledge Index, and we partnered with Kersey company, after an entire year of researching who would be our best partner from the private sector. And we also forecasted the needs, the job market needs in the Arab world and globally. So we found that results were quite weak for courses, rather, especially when they were free courses, because the student doesn't find there's a need to continue it. So we brought and attracted experts and expertise from here and globally, an elite group of teachers that focus on specific skills, job market related skills. Amazing. And we know that the Arab national is mostly keen on having certificates, papers, credits, or credentials rather. So we provide them with a certified, accredited certification from the most prominent global universities, and at the same time we provide them with the required skills, and the results are amazing in this academy. More than 25,000 students have been taught. They've finished more than 33,000 educations program and not courses. And experts say that their hours online exceed more to 7 to 8 times what they would be doing offline and in person. A lot of them found job opportunities and a lot of them launched their own businesses. And a lot of them as well were able to get full grants from acknowledged universities. We have a local girl, 12 or 13 years old only. 10 years. She launched an academy to teach children AI. And she registered in the academy by the age of 12. Imagine, 12 only. We discovered, however, we got a permit that she finished so many courses and she launched her own academy. She launched academies for children, an academy to teach children AI. I couldn't imagine this. The new generation is incredible, innovative, and creative. It shows the importance of this academy. Since 2010, they discovered the importance of remote education. The academy is not just courses and online programs. What's even more important, the system, the ecosystem that the child lives in. There is continuous follow-up. Not just after the program has concluded, but even beyond that, to discover, did they find job opportunities in order to cope with the changes? Of course, the target is not just to teach them and arm them, but do they continue learning throughout their lives? I like to start with the academy. The academy gives you an idea how pioneering it is when it comes to filling the gap, the skills gap and then the knowledge gap, or the knowledge program. On my way here, I have 2 accounts. An AI account that knows me, knows who I am, and an account in which I did not subscribe in it. It's a general account. So I asked my general account a question. What is the most important knowledge project in the world that measures global knowledge and launches knowledge initiatives? That was my question. So they told me it's a great question. There isn't a single most prominent or important knowledge project. However, there are a number of important projects and initiatives that measure global knowledge and launches some initiatives. I'll present to you and some of them, and I'll explain some of what I would consider the AI, some of the most important in the current contemporary knowledge narrative. Firstly, and I would like you to clap, Knowledge for All knowledge project. Applause. It's an initiative that in partnership between His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Knowledge and the UNDP Knowledge Foundation and the UNDP that has a global index that measures the country's performance in knowledge sectors, and it was expanded to cover 175 countries. And one of the other things that they have launched is the Academy of the Future and a strategy to enhance and strengthen education, innovation, like its partnerships with the UNESCO. Dr. Salim Al-Malik, who is honoring us with his presence today. And then it mentioned 2, 3, 4, 5 different projects from all over the globe. And then it told me what it considers the most important current global knowledge project. And it said, from my perspective as an II, the Knowledge for All project is the most prominent one, with the Global Knowledge Index are some of the most prominent knowledge projects that has a massive impact, especially because it is comprehensive, multidimensional, and it's directed towards decision makers. It's a initiatives platform with a global distribution and expansion or coverage. If you ask in English, it's the same answer. I chose to ask it with an anonymous account so it would not know who I am, because AI caters to your likes. If you are a certain person, they cater in their answers. So, and after a number of questions, they tell you, subscribe. So this project that AI has promoted something that doesn't feel fear, sadness, anger, hatred, love, totally detached from human emotions. However, it has scientific data or inputs that measure the impact to them. And it came up with the result, with the conclusion that this is the most important and prominent knowledge project. This doesn't stem out of nowhere, but rather it's the result of a lot of efforts, long efforts, through our efforts, and of course, unyielding support, endless support by our wise leadership. May God protect them. And this wouldn't have came to be if we didn't have a summit like this one. This summit has opened the doors to a lot of projects and initiatives, and you're going to listen to a new one that is going to be launched after midday. And it opened the opportunities for many, whether they are attendants or the countries that have attended or who have listened to. And there are a lot of ideas that are being implemented through the Global Knowledge Project that consists of the knowledge reports, knowledge indexes or indices, knowledge weeks, knowledge dialogues, the knowledge youth meeting, the knowledge summit, and now the Future Skills Academy. This has been opened for hours only. More than 140 people registered. 170,000 registered within a span of a few hours. So we open the doors for everyone, because we are part of them. We want for our Arab nation, our Arab homeland, and for humanity as a whole, because the Academy, we focus true on the Arab world. However, its doors are open to the entire world. The knowledge project, the Global Knowledge Project, is not an Emirati project or an exclusively Dubai project, but it's a project for the entire world. God bless you. Kindly applause for this amazing project and this institution. I have a question, and I would like to conclude, although I do enjoy myself so very much. Dr. Hani, tell us about your experience through 9 years since the launch of this index. Which experiment has not just Egypt, from all over the globe, that truly caught your attention throughout those 9 years? The experience or the experiment that I keep remembering is the Finnish experiment, because at the beginning of the launching of this index, it was going backwards. We went to them and we discussed things with them, because Finland is known as one of the best. It has one of the best education systems in the world. When we contacted them, they did not respond, and then they said, you are true, we have an issue in connecting the student to the school, and we're going to transfer to an open education system away from the physical presence in a classroom. And we found that this country went back to to its pioneering, or rather to its prominent leading position, which shows without a doubt that they are quite flexible in their thinking process and in their implementation. My question to both of you: we celebrate today a decade of achievements, and of course that you look forward to another decade of ambitions. If you were asked to summarize your vision, your forecast of the future for knowledge in the Arab world and in the globe in a single inspiring sentence: knowledge economy. All Arab nations should make it their top priority, to be truly keen in supporting it. And the upcoming knowledge projects are all going to revolve around knowledge economy, because we're done with the empowerment. We discussed the youth and the future generation, the fourth industrial revolution, and a lot of things that we've touched upon. It's time to discuss what would benefit these countries, what would elevate their position. Even if by 1%, if knowledge is increased by 1%, then their happiness, their nation's happiness and their prosperity is elevated by many folds. By 15, let alone if we increase knowledge by 15 or 20%. You can just imagine. So through the upcoming years and through the global knowledge project, we'll be focusing all of our efforts on knowledge economy. Allow me here, Mr. Jamal has touched upon everything, but one last thing I would like to say here. I would like to extend my thanks to the Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum Knowledge Foundation that allowed us the opportunity to have this platform to launch and discuss this index, and they provided all what we need, all the capabilities to make this a success. I would like to thank all the experts that have done everything they could. Without them, truly, this index wouldn't have been launched. Thirdly, the UNDP team, they were so collaborative. If this collaboration did not exist, we wouldn't have been able to reach Dr. Abdullah Dardari. Lena is here with us. They helped us so much, and they paved the way and facilitated so many procedures. And finally, last but not least, the knowledge team from the UNDP. I was the least who worked here. They are the real reason and the core behind this success. For 2 months, they did not sleep. They did not have enough sleep. I thank them truly from the bottom of my heart, and I wish them all the success and all the progress. He said 2, and now half of my team took it. They said the key word here, key term, knowledge economy. This summit ensures and confirms that the future is made by those who invest in the human capital and in knowledge. Thank you very much, all of you, and God bless you. Thank you.